What's good, fam? Today we back with another video, and in this video we are going to be reacting to a new video that just came out from Roger Linn. And in this video I find some things to be extremely interesting. He says that he is trying out the MPC Live 2 and giving his thoughts on it. Let's go ahead and check this out. Follow me. All right, so here's the video. It's 11 minutes long. I don't know if we're going to be watching the entire 11 minutes, but we're going to get into it. I'll get some thoughts and stuff on some things that I think about this particular video.
Hi, I'm Roger Linn here in my home office. And in this video, I'm going to talk about this product here, which is the Akai MPC Live 2, which is one of their current models of the MPC series. A little background first. Years ago, I designed the MPC drum machines for the Japanese Akai company. First the MPC 60 in 1988, and then the MPC 62 Model 2 in 1991, and then the MPC 3000 in 1994. Then, unfortunately, I had a falling out with the original Akai company and moved on, focusing on new ideas that I was working on, like my Adrenaline rhythmic guitar pedals, the Tempest drum machine with Dave Smith, and now my Linnstrument expressive keyboard. This is
all right. Now, exactly what he said is one of the things that I find to be very interesting about this particular video. He definitely talked about his falling out with Akai, and for a lot of people that know the history of the falling out, he was basically pushed out of the company and wasn't given any royalties or any payment for the units that he created at Akai, which in most cases you should be able to get like legacy royalty payments for a lot of people for the rest of their life off of the product that they created and helped brand. But Akai found a loophole, basically pushed him out of the company without any payments from there on out. So that is a pretty big deal. So for him to be making this video with a new MPC, that tells me that there was definitely some reconciliation behind the scene, maybe monetarily or some other type of arrangement, which definitely could be exciting.
So to be honest, I haven't used or even really thought about the MPC products or Akai since then. But occasionally people will ask my opinion about the current MPC products, and I've had to say that I don't know. So I was curious about how good they are. By coincidence, recently I've been in touch with the current American Akai company, and they kindly offered to send me one of their MPC models, the MPC Live 2. So I thought I'd give it a go and let people know what I think, which is what I'm doing in this video. The short answer is, I didn't expect it to be as good as it is, but I must say I'm impressed with it. They really did a very good job. First, I was pleased to see that they've honored my original design by keeping most of the original panel controls, like the record and overdub buttons and the play and play start buttons, the note repeat feature, the full level button, the timing correction, and so you have fast access to those functions. And that was important to me in the original design, because I really wanted to focus on what the musician wants to do to play music and not read manuals and have to.
Now, this is really important. So he's saying that, like I said, the MPC has retained most of his original designs from the original MPC 3000 or even the MPC 60. So they've kept all that in place, which we know, and have made a lot of improvements on it over the years. So for him to kind of co-sign that, that's a big deal.
And so also they did in fact maintain this fast and efficient workflow, the same as in the original MPCs. For example, you can record beats and pitch parts in a loop with real-time quantization, or timing correction, I called it, and they still call it, and swing. And there are plenty of little details I can tell you as the software developer as well for the original MPCs that are required to get right to make the loop recording with timing correct and swing work correctly, and which they did. It really does feel right. And the feel of the timing correct and the swing are absolutely correct. Very impressive.
So basically, he's saying that everything is very similar to those original MPCs, meaning the MPC 60 and the 3000. He's saying that the feel of these newer model MPCs are very, very close. If you know some of the things that's been going on, some of the things that's been said about newer model MPCs and the older ones, coming from the man himself, he's saying that they are very similar in the way that they feel.
But more importantly, Akai has brought the MPC into the present by adding modern features while retaining the original workflow. First, in addition to drum tracks and pitch tracks, it records audio tracks, and with very good sound quality, so the audio circuitry is also very well designed.
Now, for the people who say that the newer MPCs don't sound good, or don't sound as good as the older MPCs, it sounds like Roger Linn might just disagree with you. Let me know what you think about that in the comments.
And while the old MPCs could tune simple samples for simple pitched parts, the new ones have a surprisingly good library of multi-sampled tuned instruments. And another big improvement is this 7-inch touchscreen. That's a big touchscreen, and it really adds a lot of functionality in an intuitive way. And it has actually much functionality of a computer with Wi-Fi for directly downloading sounds, sequences, and software updates without connection to a computer.
I've said that before in my videos that actually I'm not saying that it has, me personally, I'm not saying it has features of a computer. I'm saying it basically is a computer. It's just highly specialized to make beats. In the background, under the surface, it's a computer, and you can connect it to a computer for a little bit greater power output, in a way, some roundabouts. But you understand what I'm saying. Well, I hope you do anyway.
No, I like this independence from the computer because often people use a computer all day at work, and when they come home and want to relax by playing some music in their music room, they don't want to deal with problems like pushed updates that break plugins or something like that, or connection problems between the computer and control surfaces or interface. They just want to make music. And so it's nice to have everything in one box. And one box that doesn't have a typewriter keyboard, but has buttons and controls and screens that are really optimized for making music and not...
I can agree with those points also. I do definitely see that perspective. It's not generally my workflow per se, but I do understand people who want to work like that. I still think that the MPC needs a little bit more to pull me into the standalone environment permanently, but I do think that we'll get there eventually.
Now that said, the MPC does come with its own computer DAW for Mac and Windows, allowing you the option to have the same operation on computer if you prefer, which in that case would be using the MPC just as a control surface and audio MIDI interface. But both of them are very tightly integrated into their computer software.
Mm-hmm.
Another couple of very nice surprises are the built-in speakers and the battery. The speakers sound surprisingly good.
They do.
Fairly large forward-facing tweeters and up-facing tweeters, and what appears to be a fairly large woofer inside that delivers strong bass at a pretty high volume. I'm surprised how good it was. It's so good that
Actually, what he just said about how good the speaker sounded, anybody who's used the Live 2, tested it out, and seen it for themselves, they know that those speakers really are a game changer. A lot of people thought that they were going to be a gimmick when they first saw it, but when you actually get your hands on it and actually use it, those speakers are definitely a game changer and something that just makes standalone beat making on the fly anywhere you want to be. You can't beat that. There's no MPC that can beat that type of functionality, in my opinion.
I find myself preferring the convenience of the internal speakers instead of my studio monitors, which are directly behind the camera at this point. And the battery is a great bonus, allowing me to disconnect power and take it to my backyard or anywhere else in the spur of the moment. They claim up to 5 hours of battery life on the website, which is good enough to take it through a gig. And you'll notice right now there's no power connected to this at all. So what I'm going to do is just do a little demonstration of creating a simple groove for you. So I'll start with a beat. And I'll just do something simple. I'm not as good a musician as you guys are, but I can do some simple things. And then a disclaimer number 2 is everything I play comes from the 70s and 80s, so bear with me. So anyway, I'll try to
make what you like.
Start with a little 2-bar.
Don't worry about everybody else. You make what you want to hear. All right, you got a little groove going.
And by the way, you're hearing the actual internal speakers. I didn't want to record directly into the computer for this because I wanted you to hear the speakers. Now, of course, they're not going to sound as good as it would be if you were actually standing here, but I can tell you it does sound very good. And now I'm going to add a repeated chord part. And to do this, I've connected up my Linnstrument keyboard, and it works flawlessly with it.
This is one of the things that I also find interesting because he's using the Linnstrument with the MPC. He's also created a couple other units like the Lynn drum and things like that, but he has the Linnstrument connected to the MPC. When I see this, I wonder if this Akai reunion will have some type of bearing on that. Like maybe will they come out with an Akai that has some of these Linnstrument capabilities included in it? Will they have a new Roger Linn sponsored MPC with his signature on it? I could see something like that happening. Maybe we have a Roger Linn Live 2, or maybe even the newer model of MPCs coming out maybe have some Roger Linn features inside of it. Maybe it's more connectable with the Lynn drum or the Linnstrument, which has a lot of multi-touch gestures, MPE type capabilities, MIDI 2.0, things like that. Well, I think that opens up a world of possibilities. Akai reconciled with Roger Linn. I'm sure there's some kind of collaboration coming, or maybe they just paid him what he felt like they owed him. I kind of doubt that he would just do this just to do it. I think it would take some type of deep reconciliation to make this happen.
And now I'm going to add a third part. In this case, it's a ensemble cello part, which is part of the internal library, ensemble strings. And to do that, I'm going to do the same thing as I did on the previous track. I'm going to use my Linnstrument keyboard to put it in, but you can also use the 16 pads to get 16 pitches.
See what we got. You can't get more simple than that right there.
And that's the MPC Live 2. And the same workflow, by the way, exists on all of their MPC models, each having a different size and number of knobs and buttons. You know, some of them are small, backpackable, some of them are large, more of a desktop unit. You know, and again, the sound you're hearing is only the unit's built-in speakers, recorded only through my little lav mic. There you have it. If you're wondering what I think of the current MPCs,
there you have it.
I like them, and I think the current Akai company has done a very good job of not only honoring the workflow of my original design, but while also bringing it into the present with modern features. And in the process, giving computers and dogs room for their money.
That's big.
In fact, I like this thing so much that I'm not giving it back. Thanks for watching.
All right, so there we go. As you can see, he said he keeping it. He ain't giving it back. That is huge news if you ask me. I think that has big implications on the future of Akai, because I don't believe that he would have done this video had they not done some type of reconciliation in the background, whether it is financially or some future endeavors. And if it is some future endeavors, maybe we'll see a new Roger Linn sponsored MPC with his signature on it again, like the MPC 3000. Maybe we'll see some features from his Lynstrument included into a newer model MPC. I think something like that would be great because of the MIDI 2.0 and MPE functionality. So that might be something that we also have to look forward to. Now, one more thing that I want to say is, if this shows that if you have had any falling out with somebody or whatever, it don't matter how long it's been. It could be 20 years, like in the case of Akai and Roger Linn. It is never too late to make it right. It is never too late to reconcile with those people and get some of those people back in your life, because they definitely mean a lot to you. So if you have anything like that going on, it ain't too late to make it right. You can always make it right and put everything back to where it's supposed to be. So that being said, let me know what you think about this in the comments. Is this big news? Do you think it's big news? Like, I think it's big news, because I definitely think it's big news. That's all I got for this one. And as always, I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out.